a stain which has determined your fate. I've never seen so clear. I feel the end and it's near. The day of reckoning's here. The sound of deafening fear. You won't die if you try. You just might get a little bit of trouble. K-O-I-F-E, right in your side. You will never see me coming. You won't die if you try. You just might get a little bit of trouble. K-O-I-F-E, right in your side. You will never see me. My energy is next level, so damn you better be careful. I got an angel and devil. He snaps me straight in the temple. I'm ready to be a rebel. I've got a lot of potential hidden inside of this vessel. That shit is so exponential. I need a first class ticket to the top, no limit. I don't play no gimmicks. I'ma take you to the clinic. If you want a taste, come at me and you will be replaced. They won't find a trace of you anywhere or any place.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Yes, Netflix. I love them, don't you? They've got some really good songs, and they're cool with copyrights. They allow people to share their music in your YouTube videos, so I love them. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing tonight? Boy, today was a crazy day in trials. I've had several people, for some reason, not know about the verdict being reached in the Schabusiness trial. So I'm going to get to the Bryan Kohberger stuff in just a moment. I'm going to just play the verdict, so I'm going to go back and forth, okay? Share my screen. All right. And before I do that, I want to say hi to everybody. And is Peyton back? She said she was stepping away for a moment, but hey, Peyton. You guys will see that I now have a join button. So if you want to join, I'm going to be having some really cool stuff. I've got some true crime trivia and some games, and I'm going to take you guys along with me while I sleuth on a case and show you how I do it, and you can help me dig stuff up. It'll be fun. And I'm going to have some other things too. All right, so let's see who's here tonight. We have, let's say hi to a few people here. LFT. How you doing? How you doing? Marcy. Hi, Marcy. I'm going to play that in just a minute. Hey, Avery. And hi, Sherry. Tina B. Hello, hello, hello. Slipper Sloth. Hi, how are you? Donna. North Carolina, huh? Cool. And Celtic Spike, a fellow Netflix fan. Sofa. Hi, honey. How are you? Try not to miss anybody here. I'll just say hi as people come in. Hit the like button for me. I appreciate it. Hi, Bebop. How are you? All right. So I'm just going to go straight to this real quick. We're going to play this verdict, and then I'll go back to the Bryan Kohberger stuff, and then we'll kind of go back and forth a couple of times.
So she's looking at the originals. Do you have a copy that I can look at while I ask some questions? And then I'm going to give each attorney an opportunity to ask some questions, but I have some.
Can I get a 10-4 in chat if you can hear that audio okay? Or if I need to turn it up?
If they're your only copies, I'll give them back before you ask your questions. Okay, I'm looking at these reports, and the question that I had for the attorneys is if there's a way to identify when these searches occurred. First of all, in my exhibits are not numbered. I believe the one that says searched item 35 in the upper left corner is exhibit 99. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So as far as the searches on these forms, everything that I see,
which was basically a Tyvek suit.
Hola, ¿qué tal, mis amigos de Tulsa, Oklahoma? Les habla su compa Dima, de Chicos de Barrio, para saludarlos e invitarlos.
Suit at that time. Okay.
That was the fastest Spanish I've ever heard.
for example, do not communicate by blog, email, text message, Twitter, or in any other way on or off the computer. Do not permit
I really thought that this was going to just start straight on the verdict, because I was watching live when it happened, and now it's got this whole spiel of things here. So I do apologize. Give me just a moment. 923. I mean, it was quick when they handed it down.
signed by the foreperson. The second verdict reads as follows. We, the jury, find the defendant.
All right, here it is. Well, hey, Tina. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Understanding is the jury has a verdict, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Anything to bring up before we bring the jury in? Mr. Saunders?
No.
Mr. Fraley?
No.
Very good. Then we'll bring the jury in. Okay, be seated. Ma'am, were you the foreperson?
I just want to say really quick, this happened so fast that people didn't really even have time to leave the courtroom. The deliberations were over in 28 minutes.
Person? And my understanding is that the jury has reached a verdict. Is that correct? Yes. Right. If you would hand that to the bailiff then, please. Okay. The first verdict reads as follows. We, the jury, find the defendant, Taylor Denise Schabusiness, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as charged in count 1 of the information, dated this date, July 26, 2023, signed by the foreperson. The second verdict reads as follows. We, the jury, find the defendant, Taylor Denise Schabusiness, guilty of mutilating a corpse as charged in count 2 of the information, dated this date, July 26, 2023, signed by the foreperson. The next verdict reads, we, the jury, find the defendant, Taylor Denise Schabusiness, guilty of third-degree sexual assault as charged in count 3 of the information, dated this date, 26th day of July, 2023, signed by the foreperson. The verdicts appear to be in order. Do either of the parties request that I poll the jury? Mr. Saunders?
All right, so there's the verdict again. It came down in 28 minutes. I was so surprised. I wasn't surprised by the verdict, of course, but I was surprised that they didn't even really care to look at anything. They just probably went back there, took a quick poll, picked a foreman, and filled out the forms, and then talked about the new Barbie movie for half an hour. I don't know. It's crazy. I did see that I have a few new members while I was playing that, so I want to thank everybody. There's Peyton. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's see. Thank you, Slippered Sloth. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. And Sherry joined as well. Thank you, Sherry. And Tina B, welcome, welcome, welcome. And my love, Tia Dash. She is, her and LFT are live all the time on the Decipher podcast channel. If somebody could drop her link, that would be awesome. I love her channel. That is a spiffy tie, Your Honor. I totally agree. So thank you guys for becoming members. I really appreciate it. I am going to have some really fun stuff for not just subscribers. I'm going to have all of this for subscribers as well, but we're going to go a little more into fun stuff with just members only. You'll see. It'll be fun. Because I know true crime can be so stressful, and I figured, let's do some fun stuff. Let's sleuth on some cases together. I'm going to be offering lessons as well on how to make videos and cover images and intro videos and things like that for anybody that wants to learn how to have your own channel. I think there's room for everybody. So she'll like prison. Yes, I totally agree. I think people just heard this verdict today who are in prison and they're going, oh, don't send her here. We don't want her. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to catch up with chat real quick, and then I'm going to show you the new Bryan Kohberger documents. So today, some new documents dropped. I'm going to move all of this over here for just a moment. All right, now I'm ready. Make sure this is the right one. 5. All right, now I got it up here so I can show you everybody. Okay, so this was filed at 5 p.m. last night, and it was emailed today. And it is a order vacating the hearing, the one coming up on August 2nd that we've all been looking forward to. We've been really looking forward to seeing what's going on August 2nd. But it's canceled. You need more volume? You need me to turn up my mic a little bit? Let me see here. Okay. Is that any better for you? Thank you, Peyton. Yeah, it's kind of, I was like, what? Because they did it at 5 p.m., so right at the end of the day, and they didn't email it and post it until today. So it reads, the hearing the court said on August 2nd, 2023 at 1 p.m. Pacific is vacated, and the matter will be addressed at the in-person hearing currently set for August 18th, 2023 at 10:30 a.m. Pacific. So 16 more days. 16 additional days. That stinks. I was really ready for the second. How about you guys? Because that's the evidentiary hearing. And this is the hearing that the judge was referring to in his last motion, where he said that he was very concerned about transportation of certain evidentiary items. So I'm really curious, like, what was he talking about? What are they having a problem with transporting? So anyway, that's what's going on with that. Again, it was just posted an email today. No hearing on the 2nd. Got to wait until the 18th. So that's the only new thing today on that trial. I mean, we've all heard the rumors about the alibi and things like that. I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit of it, and then I will tell you what an attorney told me. And I'm just going to read the bottom part. I do try to keep my lives nice and short so that people can go back and read and watch again. Or for the replay crew, you won't have to sit here for too long. All right, so it says on the bottom, Mr. Kohberger's defense team continues investigating and preparing his case. Evidence corroborating Mr. Kohberger being at a location other than the King Road address will be disclosed pursuant to discovery and evidentiary rules, as well as statutory requirements. It is anticipated this evidence may be offered by way of cross-examination of witnesses produced by the state, as well as calling expert witnesses. So it's a very smart way of saying, we don't have an alibi. We're just going to poke holes in whatever the state puts out. So they're going to wait and see the state's hand and just do their best to fight it. You know, that's all they can really do. I did speak with an attorney, a criminal defense attorney of over, I think he's been a criminal defense attorney for 40 years. And he said that this was a brilliant move on the defense part. And that this will really, this is going to put a lot of pressure on the state. It's going to do exactly what it's doing, create more doubt in the jury pool. So apparently this is a very brilliant move to make as a defense attorney. So Ann Taylor really knows what she's doing. And that's really interesting to me that she chooses to say it in this way. This is it's what we call semantics or wordplay. Let me grab my notes over here. Give me just a moment. I did have a couple of things I wanted to mention. And I have had a busy day. I haven't even been home very much today. Okay. Semantics. This is some of the quotes that I wrote down when I was speaking with the attorney. He said, semantics, word salad, brilliant lawyering, and it's smart. And he also said to pay attention to the word might. And where is that at? I sent this to him and asked him to read it because he's a friend of mine. He used to work at the law firm that he was at, and we just stayed friends forever. Well, what's this one? I'm going to do a script for it. Nope. Okay, anyway, he explained that an alibi, giving your alibi is an affirmative defense. So it's not required unless they are using an alibi specifically. And this is my speculation on it, on what they mean by expert witnesses. I think they're probably going to attack the cell phone data. He's going to say he wasn't there and his phone was off, so they can't prove where he was. That's going to be really interesting to hear. All they have to do is convince one jury, right? Only have to convince one person. So the trial is supposed to start on October 2nd. It's going to be up to a 6-week trial, which I think is totally, I don't think it's going to take him that long. I'm going to guess 3 or 4 weeks. The fact that they're seeking the death penalty, it means that they feel they have absolute solid evidence. So that's what I'm waiting for. Let's see. Okay, I want to play this video that I found. I think it's right. I need one more screen. Okay, King Scarlet, you don't have any sound at all? Okay, hold on. Should not be happening at all. I've got everything. Okay. Yeah, the share audio is on. Let me just read through it. It's okay. All right. All right, tell me now. Okay, this is a new problem. I have never had this problem before, ever. Okay, hold on. I'm just going to switch screens. Okay. All right.
Joining us here
Okay.
on Law and Crime, I'm Anjanette Levy. We reported a few weeks ago that prosecutors asked the court to issue a protective order on the genetic genealogy information developed by the FBI using a DNA profile obtained from the snap of the knife sheath found on Maddie Mogen's bed. Kohberger faces the possibility of the death penalty if convicted of the murders of Mogen, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin last November. The defense wants to show how the FBI used DNA to create family trees that led them to Kohberger and his father. It's clear from reading court documents and from covering the case that law enforcement had very little to go on until genetic genealogy came into play. Kohberger's defense attorneys wrote in their objection that they want to see how many other potential suspects were overlooked. And they even suggested that Kohberger's DNA could have been planted. They wrote, what the state's argument asks this court and Mr. Kohberger to assume is that the DNA on the sheath was placed there by Mr. Kohberger and not someone else during an investigation that spans hundreds of members of law enforcement and apparently at least one lab the state refuses to name. Prosecutors have now responded to the defense's objection, writing, presumably then, defendant was attempting to show how the investigative genetic genealogy information is material to the preparation of his defense when he asserted that someone other than the defendant may have placed his DNA on the K-bar knife sheath. But the state is at a loss as to how that theory supports a claim that the IGG information is material to the preparation of his defense. In other cases, prosecutors haven't been forced to turn over the genetic genealogy information. I spoke with CeCe Moore, an expert in the field, about this earlier this year.
Okay, so what I want to say about CeCe Moore is she explains so well about all of this. This answered all of my questions that I had about planting and DNA and all of that. So I think you'll really enjoy this.
Precedent that we've seen set is that this.
Most people have no clue that in 2023, the best way to make money on Amazon is not with physical.
Does not need to and should not be presented in court in front of a jury. So far, it's really been discussed in pretrial hearings, grand jury trial hearings, if at all. I've been on hold for dozens of cases to be an expert witness, and I've been canceled in every single one because of the precedent that we're seeing set, because of the rulings the judges are making. Oftentimes, when the defense tries to object to the genetic genealogy, and they lose, which they have in every case so far, they end up doing a plea deal.
Kohberger's trial is currently set for October. Meanwhile, I spoke with Kristen Slaper, an expert in DNA analysis, who managed DNA analysis for years for Ohio's Bureau of Criminal Investigation's Crime Lab. I asked her about the possible claim that DNA was planted and the arguments over genetic genealogy.
What's important to remember is that, first of all, DNA on its own doesn't mean anything until you have a standard to compare. So what I mean by that is you could run DNA tests all day long, get profiles from someone or multiple people, and you don't really know what it means until you either put it into the CODIS database or you compare it to a standard that's submitted. So in a situation like this, where I hear that the claim is DNA is planted, I think it's important to remember that Bryan Kohberger was not known. Nobody knew who did this. And I think that's important because in order for something to be planted, it has to be a pretty, it's got to be pretty planned out to plant someone's DNA. You have to have their DNA, first of all. You have to have an item that their DNA is on and know that only their DNA would be found on it in order for a result to be produced the way that it was, for it to be one person on this knife sheath, for it to be enough DNA that you could generate a profile from this, that you could put it into CODIS, that you could then go on to do genealogy. You have to have a decent amount of DNA for that. And so you...
Yes, Avery, I'll play it again in just a moment.
it has to be really carefully planned, I think, if you're going to plant someone's DNA. And then, like I said, not knowing who the person is when the DNA lab runs the test, the DNA lab is only generating what's there and what they have. And we always had a saying in the lab that you either get the right answer or you get no answer. Because you're working the evidence that gets submitted by the law enforcement agency. And sometimes you would get a profile and other times you wouldn't. So in my mind, to plant someone's DNA, I think it takes an awful lot of work. And I think it's a little bit too coincidental with all the other facts of the case. Not knowing the outcome, not knowing who did it, that's just my opinion.
So the state says, they had this unknown DNA profile. As you mentioned, they didn't get a hit in CODIS. So they send it to a private lab. There are a few.
Okay, so that part was really big. She explained how truly difficult it is to get somebody's DNA, just their DNA, just the right amount, and just the location, right? Now she goes to explain something a little further about the website that they used and how it's actually used.
Few private labs that will do this work for law enforcement, but then they hand it over to the FBI, and the FBI comes up with this SNP profile. It's a different type of profile from the STR used in the lab. And I think this can get very confusing for people who aren't familiar with this. So they hand it over to them, and then they build family trees based on the information that they are given. And then they kind of hone in on him. But the defense makes it sound like they may have overlooked other potential suspects.
So I think a couple of things on that. Yes, what we call a SNP profile or a SNP panel is different from conventional DNA testing. Conventional DNA testing is looking at 20 or 21 locations, depending on which kit you use in the lab. And if you have that profile, you can directly compare it to a standard from a suspect. And you can see, does this exactly match this person or not? When it gets put into the CODIS database, the same question gets asked. Is this matching to someone either at the state level or at the national level in the CODIS database? In a situation like this, where you have a good enough amount of DNA and it's a single source profile, you then can go on to do the SNP testing. SNP testing is, if you've heard of the Human Genome Project and you've heard that they sequence someone's DNA, that's essentially what developing a SNP panel is. It's sequencing the DNA, and then it's looking at certain segments of the DNA and comparing it to people that may be similar or not. The origination of this type of testing was really intended for SNP testing or to determine how similar someone's DNA was to their ancestors. So I submitted my sample to Ancestry, 23andMe, and they could tell me, okay, your DNA is very similar to people that live in Eastern Europe, which I always knew. I always knew that I was Polish. And so, yes, my DNA most likely matches that. That's all SNP testing is doing. It's basically saying your DNA has a lot in common with someone else. And that in the situations of ancestry testing, it's populations from Eastern Europe or Ireland or wherever it's from. In a situation like this, they're taking that SNP panel that was developed at a private laboratory, and it's 700,000 locations on someone's DNA. They upload it in a very similar manner to uploading an STR profile or a normal profile to the CODIS database. They upload this SNP panel or SNP profile.
Hi everyone, I'm Heidi Ducato. I am here at Holberton School right here in Tulsa. Libby is
to these publicly available databases, and then ask the question of how related is the person who owns this profile, i.e. is the DNA from the knife sheath, how related is this person to somebody available in these databases? I think it's important to note that the databases are publicly available databases. So someone took the time to take their sample, their own profile, their own SNP panel, and upload it to say, where are my relatives? Who am I related to? I want to trace my own family tree. I want to see, my own background. So once that comparison, they take the SNP profile, they upload it to that database. Once that's done, The returns that come back are potential family members of this person. And the return.
Okay, so you heard that part, right? They're uploading the profile to these public databases, not the actual DNA, right? It's the profile that they developed off of the SNP, whatever that is. It's all Greek to me. But I understood the part where she said they develop the profile and then they upload it to this database and they find possible relatives. The reason that the state doesn't want to give this information is because it would reveal personal, private information of one of his relatives. That's why they don't want to do it. That's what I think anyway. It's not really relevant to finding out who he was. It just told them who he was close to. So I'm not going to play the rest of that at this time. But I will put the link. Let me get the link to this. So you guys can go back and watch the whole thing anytime you'd like. So I'm going to put it in chat. The whole rest of that interview is really good. I learned a lot. And Jeanette Levy is wonderful. I love her. Okay, so somebody asked about the verdict. I'm going to go pull that back up here. Before I do, I want to thank Avery for becoming a member. Thank you so much. And I want to say hi to V Slims. Hi, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And hi to Laughingstock. I love your picture. So cute. Hello, Aries Park. How are you doing? I'm doing good. Hi, CH. Thank you for joining tonight. Okay, so CH says she makes a very important part near the end, stating that there's nothing wrong keeping the individual's information private, but sharing the IgG tree created should be shared. I do agree with that. I think that there's a way that they could share that information with the defense with a stipulation that that information, that specific person's information would not be published. That should be totally fine, right? Hi, Night Nurse. How are you doing? Thank you for joining. Well, hello. You guys, Dago is in the house. I just found Dago's channel maybe a month ago, and I didn't say much in chat at first, but I got into the routine of going to his lives, and I love them. Thank you for being here, Dago. How are you doing? Rissa Roberts, hi. And there it is. Illusions X13, hi, how are you doing? Thank you for being here. And Rissa. Okay. So somebody asked about the Schauberger. Schauberger? Really? Let's just call both of them Schauberger. Schabusiness verdict. And I could just get it from my history, but I'm just going to put it this way. I know which one it was on and how far it was. Here we go. Let me get that pulled up on my screen and I'll play the verdict again. It was really short, so. Okay. And I'm working backwards on my screen. It's driving me crazy. I'm used to working left to right. StreamYard's not sharing my audio correctly tonight on this screen. So I have to do it this way. Okay. So for those that asked about the verdict, I'm going to play that again really quick here. That's right. It literally happened so fast, if you blink, you might miss it.
Okay, be seated. Ma'am, were you the foreperson? And my understanding is that the jury has reached a verdict. Is that correct? Yes. Right. If you would hand that to the bailiff then, please. Okay. The first verdict reads as follows. We, the jury, find the defendant, Taylor Denise Schabusiness, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as charged in count 1 of the information, dated this date, July 26, 2023, signed by the foreperson. The second verdict reads as follows. We, the jury, find the defendant, Taylor Denise Schabusiness, guilty of mutilating a corpse as charged in count 2 of the information, dated this date, July 26, 2023, signed by the foreperson. The next verdict reads, we, the jury, find the defendant, Taylor Denise Schabusiness, guilty of third-degree sexual assault as charged in count 3 of the information.
Okay, Avery. Okay, so the sentencing phase starts at 9 a.m. excuse me, at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Sanity phase, yeah. Now they have to figure out. She was play crying for a minute, but I did not buy it at all. She was doing weird things throughout this whole trial. In my last video, I put a, let me see here. I'll show you one of the things that she was doing. Right. Okay. See that little finger bang thing she was doing? She did that to her own friend who was up there testifying. I thought that was nuts. I thought that was nuts that she was doing the like air gun, or you know what she was thinking about her friend up there testifying against her. You know? Oh, okay. I'll show it again. I just added it as a little overlay on my last video. You see it, Avery? You would think that that was a threat, Bebop, wouldn't you? You would think that that was a threat. I would have taken that as a threat myself. That's what she did yesterday to the witness on the stand. It's like she's shooting him, like, phew, boom. Just sick. You know what I find kind of weird, though, y'all? Do you see my thumbnail that I made for my video? I put the video up on Sunday. And I was a little creeped out when on Monday they started showing the crime scene, the photos and stuff. And excuse this messy desktop over here. This is my YouTube computer. Okay, so let me see here. I'll move things around. Okay. I'm going to show you guys just a few of the crime scene photos. Is this one? Nope. I'm just going to go like this. That's the bed. That is what they gathered all of him up into. And it was a child size body bag. I did some digging on her, and as you can see here, she had an extensive record from before. She was actually still on probation at the time that this happened. That's the chain that she used. Okay, so there's the bucket. So if you look at, I don't even know where I put the thumbnail now. I'm going to keep looking here. I'm going to get the other one with the knives. Okay, and then I'll go, because I was like, what? So when you go here and you look at my thumbnail, so you just see, oh, literally just lost everything. Really? Yep, they all closed. Okay. That's all right. Well, I know where they are now. Okay, so oh, that's not it. I'm gonna go bathroom. Okay, so there's the bucket. Can't read through this. And the knife. So my little thumbnail, I was like, what? Close those out of the way. I was like, okay, that's not creepy or anything. I made my thumbnail on Sunday before the trial even started, and look at my thumbnail with the black same bucket and the same handle on the knife. I was like, oh God. I was like, how did I get that so close? That's gross. Yes, I was going to tell everybody about that, Annie. Let me close this and I'll tell you guys what happened today. At the end of the trial, when they were moving some of the alternate jury members over, just moving them over some seats, they for Law and Crime accidentally showed 4 of them on camera. And I totally agree. They need to get it together because they will blow it for all viewers in any future cases. I know, that's why I was like, I don't want to be thinking like her. Fofa, you are hilarious. Taquitos. I had pizza tonight. Yeah, no, she was looking directly at the AJ on the stand. So yeah, that was creepy. So did everybody see the new Bryan Kohberger documents that came out today? Dago, have you seen the new documents that came out today on the case? Yeah, that channel's way too big to be doing that. If anybody is in here and has not seen the new Bryan Kohberger documents, put a 1 in chat, I guess. That would work. If you want to see the documents again, or if you haven't seen them, let me know and I can pull them up again really quick. I have them right here. Okay. I don't care if it's one person or 50 that wants to see them. I'll pull them back up. It's not a problem. Alrighty. All right, make sure that's on the screen. Okay. Here it is. This was filed at 5 p.m. last night, and it just showed up on the case today. It's an order vacating the hearing for August 2nd. The hearing the court set on August 2nd, 2023 at 1 p.m. Pacific is vacated, and the matter will be addressed at the in-person hearing currently set for August 18th, 2023 at 10:30 a.m. And it was served by email today. So everybody's really been anticipating the August 2nd court date, but it's not happening. Now we have to wait until the 18th, a little over 2 weeks more. So that stinks. I was really looking forward to seeing what was going on. The only good part about this, though, is that the August 2nd hearing was going to be closed. This one is scheduled as open. So if they put them together on the 18th, I don't know if they're going to close the hearing completely and hold it behind closed doors, or if they'll just go ahead and put both of them open. I really want them to show us everything. I want to see everything that they have. Because I'm not putting any stock in either side. I love to hear both sides of it. I'm very interested in the case, and I want to see the actual evidence, not all the rumors, not all the drama going around YouTube. I don't have time for any of that, You couldn't pay me to put somebody up on my panel that's going to spread malicious rumors about these victims and the families and other people that it could have been, the cartel and all this ridiculous crap that I'm seeing all over the place. I don't want any part of any of that. Plausible theories, things that actually fit what we know, that's totally different. Like I have my own weird sounding theories that at least match what we know. You know what I mean? But I have seen, just today alone, I saw some of the most disgusting rumors about a certain one of the girls. I just decided to leave. I'm not Mm-mm. It was bad, y'all. It was real bad. Oh, but if they're proven wrong, they'll apologize. No, that's not okay. I don't think you should be able to do that. But whatever. But I do like hearing both sides, and I have my own thoughts and theories on the case. Thoughts that, could involve him. Maybe he did it, maybe he didn't. It's like when I go to Dago's lives, I totally get all of it, and I agree with all of it. And then I'll go to another live that is completely solidly in the BK did it, basket. And I understand that too. It all makes sense on both sides. So, hey, welcome back, Fee Slims. Yes. I totally agree. That is completely my kind of drama. I love the lawyer sass and the docs. She says that's my kind of drama. Yes. To me, it's worth waiting if we get to see it. Tina B, you're so right. I will gladly go ahead and just wait the extra 2 weeks, if we get to see. And like I said, I think earlier that this hearing is the one that the judge, somebody made a note on the bottom of the last motion regarding this hearing for August 2nd, that the judge has concerns about transportation of certain evidence items. What in the world could that be? That's my kind of drama. Like, what are they having trouble with transporting? What kind of evidence are they going to bring forth for this hearing? Really want to see it. Now, let me look at my notes really quick. Let's see. Okay, this is one other thing that my attorney friend said. I was like, so make sense of it for me, both sides, And he said, okay, so if it wasn't him, it was somebody who hated BK, who had no criminal record, and decided to frame him. But why? You have to admit that doesn't make much sense. He did look through the documents and agrees that the defense really wants that grand jury records and the transcripts. By the way, if you haven't yet, please hit the like button for me. I appreciate that. And let's see. I made myself a note to learn Nightbot. I signed up for Nightbot for my channel, went in there and poked around and a couple of times, couldn't figure it out and gave up. I really want to learn how to do the Nightbot. Okay, so the rest of this is I was taking extensive notes on the Schabusiness trial because I thought that we had a couple of days left. I have a whole bunch of stuff saved in a file, ready to make another video and all that. And I'm like, well, I don't really need to now. It's kind of a moot point. She's convicted. So tomorrow they'll start figuring out what her sentence is going to be. They have to, bring up witnesses or experts. The defense will bring up experts that will say that she had diminished capacity, meth brain, things like that is what they were talking about at the end of today. So, and then they'll have to decide, the jury will have to decide if she's, fully responsible. I think they totally will. It'd be one thing, I think, if she was so out of it that she really, truly did not have any clue what she was doing and freaked out when she found out, right? No, she was graphic in her descriptions. It was the most perfect confession that anybody could ever wish for as a prosecutor. So, Okay, so I think someone thought all DNA wiped. Such a minute sounding bit of DNA. Yeah, and that's possible too. It doesn't make any sense. Why was he in his own car with his own phone? Didn't clean the knife enough, and he was in his own car with his own phone. The August 2nd hearing is an evidentiary hearing where they can rule certain evidence in or out, admissible or not. And we were supposed to be allowed to see that. They moved it to August 18th at 10:30 a.m. So we have to wait. And we don't know if we're going to get to see it or not. The only diagnosis that she has that was actually on the record was bipolar disorder, and there was questions whether that was really correct for her. She sounds actually more like, well, I don't know. I'm not going to even attempt to diagnose her. I just know she's sick and twisted, that's for sure. Okay, now I'm sorry, I've bounced back and forth a couple of times. Which crime scene are you referring to? Taylor's Schabusiness or Idaho 4? Both are possible. Both did have people in them before police arrived. Yeah, that's what I was I can't say it because I don't know. You know what I mean? But they are going to start that in the morning. And that's part of the sentencing. So it's very sad, y'all. Let me stop my screen. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I was planning on, I was planning on showing you guys a whole bunch of stuff from the trial today, and I found some neat stuff when I guess I can show you a couple of these things that I found. I was digging into Taylor Schabusiness and her victim, and I found, let's see here. Okay. Okay, where's the Facebook? So I found some screenshots from his Facebook. Now, where are they? Okay. I'm just going to go this way and just go through them. There was that selfie. The defense fought really hard against that getting into evidence. She idolized Jeffrey Dahmer and took a little cell phone selfie of herself. Ugh, creepy. That's her meltdown. That's Shatherian.
Weighed the credibility of each of the.
Okay, that was when she was ruled competent. That's more than knives. You guys, that's his leg. That's his leg in a box. That's part of his leg in the box. Ugh. There's literally part of him in this and part of him in this. And there's the paraphernalia left right out in the open. That's the bedroom. This little blue tub back here was full of stuff, parts, as was this container and this container. Let's see. Oh, let me scroll down. What a mess. This is a new photo that they put out today in the trial. They said that they used this photo to identify what they found in that bucket. So I guess that means that they identified him using this tattoo. Yeah, they had a Pac-Man game in their room. Okay, so here's some of the Facebook stuff that I found. This was his Facebook, February 19th. And I believe, wasn't it the 23rd that it all happened? I'm going to check. I believe it was February 23rd. Yes, February 23rd, 2022 was when all this happened. So this was a few days before his passing. What's this? Hi, Butterfly Kisses. How you doing? Yes, this is true. Avery answered your question, V-Slims, right here. Very sad story. Okay, so this was February 19th. And I'm not on. Really, why am I having a point where I want to zoom? I should be able to scroll. Anyway, okay, so this apparently was some of his very last posts. How could this happen to someone? How could you do it to someone? Goodbye. I don't like where this went. Well, you took my happiness for now, and I recommend you stay away. I'm not here to make you happy. I'm here to live, as they call it. So go pretend happy somewhere else, or own up to it. I can't read tonight, y'all. And then the last one was awful. Frowned when I saw this. End dial tone. She was such a pretty girl, wasn't she? With all the makeup. Makeup is amazing, right? Okay, I think that's all on that one. All right, so I think that's it for tonight as far as updates, only because I really don't need to get too far into it since the verdict has already been reached. We're done. So I'm going to go back to digging on the Idaho 4 case while we wait longer. 2 weeks longer than we were all told that we would have to wait. So anyway, I want to thank all of those people who became members tonight. I have 6 people. I want to thank you all again. Peyton, thank you so much. Slipper Sloth, thank you so much. Tina B, thank you. I love those nails, by the way. I need to introduce you to Lady V. She has a nail channel. Tia Dash Decipher, thank you so much. And Sherry and Avery. Oh, yeah, girl, me too. Same. I don't even go to the store without fixing my hair and face. I just can't do it. Same. That's what I just said. I don't even go to the store without at least, we got to do the foundation. I got to do a little bit of blush, a little bit of mascara, and do something with my lips. And then I'm okay. If I'm in a real hurry to just go to the store, you know? Yeah, shout out to Lady V. She's awesome. when she's in here, we'll drop her channel. She has a really beautiful nail. I think she runs a business. So I went without makeup probably for almost all of 2020 and 2021. And it wasn't into maybe early 2022 where I started like regularly putting on makeup because we were finally done with the mask. I was so sick of all my masks getting all filthy with foundation and lipstick, you know. So I stopped wearing it too for a while. I would just wear like some mascara, a lot of mascara with my mask. God, I'm so glad we don't have to wear those anymore here. Oh, nice. Zach, I have always struggled with makeup, but we'll talk about that another time maybe. I'm going to keep this a little short and sweet so that people can come and watch it on replay. I'm going to go ahead and end for tonight. I've got 2 other videos that I was already working on, so I'm going to go back and work on those and then go visit my favorite haunts around YouTube again. So I'm sure I will see some of you in a chat or panel or something somewhere else shortly. I usually end up over on Lost Souls. Oh my God, I never can say her channel name right. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Lost Souls TC in chat, right? I always end up over there. I love the conversations going on in that chat as well. Your makeup expired. Hi, Gray Nicole. Thank you so much for coming. If you wouldn't mind, go back to the beginning to see most of the information because I'm about to wrap it up. I wonder what would happen if I actually did have like a long live again like I used to. But I don't know about you, but I just can't do it for too long. I try to get all of the information out there and just be done. You know what I mean? So I don't know about you, but when I go to a channel and it has a title, I'd like to see that information within the first hour to see what I was there for. Kind of drives me crazy if they have, an hour's worth of information and they stretch that out for 4 hours. Like, oh God. Yes, thank you so much for dropping that link. I meant this one, sorry. Lost Souls TC. Yeah, definitely check that out. That's where I can be found usually at night. I often go to sleep listening to their conversation because they're up so late. Often she goes live right when I'm going to bed. So, well, thank you again so much, everybody, for coming. Thank you for joining and becoming a member. Again, I'm already working on some true crime trivia, some other games, and some live sleuthing that we can do together. So thank you again for coming. You guys have a great night, and I will see you again soon. My other live is going to be Friday night, and it is going to be on just a quick update on this case because by then we'll have the sentencing, I'm sure. So we'll know her sentence on Schabusiness. And then I'm going to have a video and a live on Alexi Treviso on Friday. I've been really interested in that case. That's the young girl who put her newborn in the trash in the hospital. Awful. And then whatever updates that we have on Bryan Kohberger and Idaho 4. So you guys have a good night, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.